Chat family. I don't know who's going to be on tonight. And it's my first time doing Facebook, God in Action Ministries, and the African Consciousness Forum site. I just came on tonight because I was just moved by the Spirit, my inner spirit, to just share some things. I'm not going to be long. And no, I did not give no one a heads up on it. And that's fine too. But it will be there for anyone who would like to watch it later on, look at it later on. But I hope all is well. My name is James Anyabuile. I'm the spiritual teacher and the awakener of the God in Action Ministries Spiritual and Cultural Center, located here in the South End of Albany, New York. I just wanted to share my spin on tonight. I wasn't going to do it, but because it was pressing in my spirit, in my mind, I just said, we need to share it. And I just hope that you understand what I'm going to share, and somehow, some way, shape, or form, that it will open your eyes to some things that we are dealing with in our life as a people. All right. As you've seen on the sites, the 3 sites, YouTube, God in Action Ministries, and the African Consciousness Forum, the subject that I'm going to be dealing with for a short period of time is Jeffrey Dahmer and the consumption of Black people. When you look at the word consumption, it is like depleting something or something, someone or something from its resources, from its strength, from its life. All right. And I was moved to share this because for the last week or so, last week I would say, a lot of people have been talking about the 10-part series that's on Netflix called The Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story. The series, it dramatizes the killing spree of Jeffrey Dahmer between 1978 and 1991. And when this series was added to the Netflix, it attracted a huge rating, meaning that many people was interested in watching this. And the sick thing about this, if you know about the Jeffrey Dahmer story, the sick thing about this is how the movie theater has a way of twisting the minds of the people to the point to where we look at gruesome murders and destruction, oppression, and terror of people, or Black people in particular, for entertainment. That's sick. Some people get their family around, movie night, to watch horror movies, crime movies, murders movies, and that just gives you the allow you to see the condition of the mind of the people of today. Because the movie industry or Hollywood would not crank out this stuff or produce this stuff if the people were not interested in it. They give you what you want. One thing about pigs, not calling you a pig loves slop. So the mind of the people today is like slop. And like pigs, I'm not saying you're pigs, or we're pigs, or you're a pig, like pigs, we like to wallow in the slop for entertainment. Now, over the years, talking about this Jeffrey Dahmer character, there were 5 movies based on his cannibalism, vicious and demonic killings of people and Black people in particular. One thing again about the music industry, you talk about 5 movies and you have documentaries and it's constantly coming up and up. I mean, you have 3 or 4, I'll say 3 in the last 5 years about this character. That's obsession to me. One thing about the movement industry, and you know that we as Black people do not run it, nor do we own it, nor do we control it. It seems like it loves to glorify and celebrate their Caucasoid psychotic killers. It goes way back. Al Capone and all these other killers and serial killers and Ted Bundy and I don't research these people, but you probably know their names better than I do. My objective tonight, brothers and sisters, is not to shed light or to put shine on these diabolical and murderous, cannibalistic characters who eat Black people alive. Oh yeah, I know. When you look at the series, and I know probably some of you have done, or you're probably planning to do, when I look at the series, I didn't look at it. I watched 2.5 because everybody was talking about it, and I thought it was some stuff you could find that was, that you can kind of like sift through to gain some knowledge or something. But you look at the deeper meaning when it comes to this movie. You have to look at it. You have to look at it with African eyes, in an African perspective. And when I did look at the 2.5 series, not the 10, but the 2.5 series, I look at Jeffrey Dahmer's and all these other characters. Let's deal with this because this is a high rating right now amongst all people. I look at him as a symbol or face of Black consumption. Black consumption. When I see his Black consumption, his murderous, his cannibalistic acts and behaviors against Black people, I believe that the majority, if I'm wrong, I can be corrected, but majority or many of those he have cannibalized were Black people. So I have to look at it on a, not a micro level, looking at him just as a character in a documentary or movie, but on a macro level, on a larger scale. And when you look at it on a larger scale, you see that black cannibalism or black people are still being eaten alive as I speak. Did you know, brothers and sisters, that 79 to 80% of black babies, allegedly, I don't want to get this channel shut down, allegedly, black babies and fetuses are allegedly in their tissues or sometimes are being used in vaccines. So when I talk about cannibalism, when you're inoculated with certain vaccines, allegedly, with these tissues and fetuses, substances inside of them, that's a form of biological cannibalism. Now, did you know, once again, that from 1973 to 2022, at least 2 million black babies have been aborted, eaten alive, taken alive. According to research, my brothers and sisters, my little research, did you know, and I used to do this myself as a Christian. I do not look at myself as a Christian. I do not subscribe to any religion because when I was born, it was not stamped on my behind what religion I should be, nor was it stamped on my birth certificate. It was something that was given to us, and what was given to us was forced on our African ancestors. Facts over feelings, brothers and sisters. Did you know that those who subscribe to Christianity and in the Catholic religion are encouraged to participate in cannibalism, or when I say spiritual cannibalism, eating the flesh and the blood of the individual? In the Christian church, every first Sunday, you take what is called what? I used to give it and perform that when I first started this ministry 20 years ago. I stopped that a long time ago. But every first Sunday, you had to take what is called Holy Communion. They give you a cracker or a wafer in a little glass of grape juice, symbolizing the blood and the flesh of Jesus the Christ. That's spiritual cannibalism. And in the Catholic faith, they do the same thing. But when they take communion or the Eucharist, they believe that when they pray over the wine, they drink the wine and the bread or the cracker, it literally turns into the blood and the flesh of Jesus. They call it transubstantiation. Cannibalism, spiritual cannibalism. This is nothing new. Jeffrey Dahmer is just a face right now. Like I heard on somebody else's site that he was the one that was caught. But it's something that is practiced in the spiritual realm every month. In the religious realm every month. Are you hear me, brothers and sisters? We talk about Jeffrey Dahmer. We can't look at him on a micro level, but on a larger scale, because he represents a larger scale. We talk about black consumption. This is another way that black people are being eaten alive. or consumed. We go to supermarkets, brothers and sisters. Am I right? Supermarkets that we don't own. And most of the food that we consume or we purchase is filled with toxins and poisonous food colorings, pesticides, insecticides, and preservatives. Look at the box. Look at the box, the back of the box that you buy. You don't even look at that. Don't know what the hell you eating. You got a whole list of things that is something that you call potatoes or broccoli or spinach or cereal. Look at the box. You have to get into the habit of looking at the back of the box, back of the can that you drink from. And it tells exactly what they have in it. And a lot of the stuff that you read in back of it, you can't even pronounce or don't know what the hell it is. So we go there and buy these poisonous things. And while we're eating and drinking them to stay alive, the food that we're eating and drinking to stay alive is killing us while we're alive, or eating us alive. It's destroying our health, mentally, physically, spiritually, scientifically. My brothers and sisters, the foods that we eat determines what our overall health will be like. It has a profound connection. Not only Black lives of our health, our life through our eating is being consumed, or we're being eaten alive, the Black mind is being consumed or eaten alive by the miseducational system, my brothers and sisters. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The miseducational system that your children and I were mandated to go to. And while we go to these places, these what I call killing fields, that feed our mind, at the same time is being eaten alive, cannibalized by the misinformation, half-truths, and lies that they inject in the mind. The Black mind is being eaten alive, brothers and sisters, or starved of right knowledge and about who they are, their culture, history. We have been stripped of our name, eaten alive by being stripped of our name, our language, our God, mores, folklore, and our spirituality. We are nothing but fodder, food for the oppressor, the enemy, the enslaver, and the dominator of Black people. So, like I said, when you look at the movie Jeffrey Dahmer, you can't look at it as on a character, he's a character level. You have to look at it on a macro level, on a larger scale of who he represents, who they could constantly glorify and honor and celebrate. The Caucasoid psychotic. So for us to stay alive without being cannibalized, we must, as a people, brothers and sisters, separate from those who we have, who does not have our best interest in mind. And we must not continue to cannibalize or eat each other up by demonizing each other, criticizing each other, belittling each other, name-calling and disrespecting each other. And some of you may say, well, how can you accuse Dahmer and his kind who don't look like us, for cannibalizing us, eating us alive, and we're doing it to our own people in the ways you just mentioned. Well, I tell you like this, because I know a lot of the people who may hear this is religious people, Bible reading people. The scripture says that evil company corrupts what? Good habits. And from the time we was forced to come to the hells of North America and be around a strange and foreign people with strange habits, strange thought patterns, strange behaviors. We have picked them up, because when you hang around somebody long enough, their ways begin to rub off on you. We have picked up a strange culture, and we began doing to ourselves what that culture have been doing to us for the last 400 to 500 years in the hells of North America. So we have to be very careful what we allow in our ear gates and eye gates, and look at it as entertainment. And like I said at the onset, that this Jeffrey Dahmer thing have attracted high ratings. Everybody talking about it. I'm not talking about it to promote it. I'm talking about it to let you see what they are really doing. They are celebrating a demon who have cannibalized, stripped the resources from Black people on a micro scale. But we have to look at that kind on a macro scale, a larger scale. My brothers and sisters, that's what I needed to say tonight. And whoever watches it, I hope that you would understand what I'm saying. Black people in trouble. I know probably you doing all right. People that you know you're doing all right. But you can't look at it as a few people that you know and yourself. You have to look at it on a larger scale. It's 40-something thousand, probably 50,000 Black people in America. You got our brothers and sisters around the globe equaling billions, a billion or more, billions or more, a billion or more, or billions. Like King said, Martin Luther King said, he says, I'm not free, I'm paraphrasing. I can't see myself to be free, or I cannot consider myself to be free if my people are still in bondage. We have to start looking at ourselves on an individual basis, or the few people that we know is doing okay. In order to help our people, we have to look at it as a whole. Because if I'm not doing right, if my people are not doing right, I'm not doing so well. And that goes for me, and that goes for you. So let's position ourselves. No matter what you have the skill and ability to know how to do, position ourselves so that we can help our people become a better people. If we don't position ourselves, intentionally position ourselves to do that, we are automatically an enemy of our people and a collaborator with the enemy. Much love and respect, my brothers and sisters. I just had to share what's on my heart. I'm just saying. Hotel, my time is up.